guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. You know, it's been like 2 years since the Gabby Petito Brian Laundrie tragedy, and looking back at their one and only video on their van life YouTube channel, it's really sad to see what was and what things are now.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
And where things horrifically ended for Gabby, and later, as we know, Brian, who took his own life. And now we're these two families, the Petitos and the Laundries, are in a bitter civil lawsuit because of what Brian started, what he did to Gabby, and then eventually told his parents, and then, in my opinion, took the easy way out and took his life. The update we have right now is that after what we heard from the depositions from the Petito family's attorney, that the Chris and Roberta stated that Brian told them she was gone, referring to Gabby. They are sort of backpedaling that, it seems. So there have been new documents released today. I'm going to kind of sift through them because, as we know, with all these documents, they seem to reiterate what's known, and I guess they update the quote-unquote facts or what have you as they go along. So again, I will link directly to the documents if you'd like to read them on your own, but otherwise I'm going to kind of just sift through them and see what the Laundries and as well as Stephen Bertolino had to say in these updated documents disputing what we were all told about a week ago. So this is the updated response from the defense side of things. I hadn't really gone through all the 12 pages, so I'm kind of going to go through that with you because I just saw this as I got off of work today, which is Monday, December 11th. This one here looks like it's defendant Stephen Bertolino's answer and affirmative defenses to plaintiff's third amended complaint. So again, these are, I'm no attorney, lawyer, and I don't play one on YouTube or any of that stuff, so I'm just always interested in this stuff, and if you happen to be an attorney or a paralegal, and you have a training in that field and you'd like to contribute anytime, please let me know. My email is in the information of every single video, and I would love to speak with you. And if you have any clarifications or what have you, that would be awesome. I'm always interested in hearing the experts explain things better. You can't do better than the ones who've been gone to school for all those years and sadly probably have lots of school, lots of money to pay back for student loans. So at the beginning here, it does state, comes now this defendant, Stephen Bertolino, Mr. Bertolino, through his counsel, pursuant to court's November 29th, 2023 order granting plaintiff's motion for leave to file Third Amendment complaint and Florida Rules of Civil Procedure, and hereby files his answer in affirmative defenses to plaintiff's Third Amendment amended complaint filed on November 30th, 2023, and cites as follows. Here are the answers. So again, I'm going to kind of sift through because it gets very, very repetitive. So I kind of want to get to the meat and the good parts here. But number one states the defendant admits plaintiffs have brought the instant action and alleged that plaintiffs' damages exceed $30,000 for jurisdictional purposes only. The remainder of paragraph 1, a plaintiff's Third Amendment complainant is denied. 2, the defendant admits all the allegations contained in paragraph 2 of the plaintiff's Third Amendment complaint. 3, the defendant admits the allegations in paragraph 3 of plaintiff's Third Amendment complaint for jurisdictional purposes only. 4, upon information and belief, this defendant admits the allegations contained in paragraph 4 of plaintiff's Third Amendment amended complaint. 5, upon information and belief, this defendant admits plaintiff Nicole Schmidt is the mother of Gabrielle Petito, deceased. This defendant, without knowledge to the remainder of the allegations contained in paragraph 5 of plaintiff's Third Amendment amended complaint, and therefore denies same. So they were kind of, most of the stuff seems to be stuff weird. No. He's agreeing with most of it, so he was admitting that he acted as an attorney and therefore agent for other co-defendants, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie. And he agrees that that Gabby and Brian were engaged, and that they set out on a trip together in the summer of 2021, and then that they had met. The Petitos and the Laundries had met in New York. Then it goes on, looks like 12 through 15. He's denying, I guess, those particular allegations in those paragraphs. So he's denying 12 through 15. 16. This defendant is either without knowledge and or is unable to admit or deny knowledge as to the allegations contained in paragraph 16 of plaintiff's Third Amended complaint, as so would violate the attorney-client privilege between this defendant and by Brian Laundrie, which Brian Laundrie has not waived. Well, Brian Laundrie is dead, so I don't think he's waiving anything. And therefore, this defendant denies same. I don't know if you can do that, though. He's dead, so what's the point? 17, upon information and belief, this defendant admits allegations contained in paragraph 17 of plaintiff's Third Amendment complaint. 18, this defendant, either without knowledge and or is unable to admit or deny knowledge as to the allegations contained in paragraph 18 of plaintiff's Third Amendment complaint, and would violate the attorney-client privilege between this defendant and by Brian Laundrie, which Brian Laundrie has not waived, and therefore this defendant denies the same. Again, Stephen Bertolino, Brian is dead. I think that's a weak response, but again, I'm not an attorney, don't play one on television or anywhere else. So, legal folks, please let me know in the comments if I am correct on that or if I'm not. But hey, I'm assuming we're also going to hear about that at trial. 19, this defendant is either without knowledge and or is unable to admit or deny knowledge as to the allegations contained in paragraph 19 of the plaintiff's Third Amendment amended complaint, as so would violate the attorney-client privilege between this defendant and by Brian Laundrie. Yeah, BS. That's more of the same. Okay, now we jump to 20, With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 20 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie contacted him on or about August 29, 2021 for purposes of obtaining legal advice and counsel with respect to their son, Brian Laundrie. So he admits that one. Okay. 21. This defendant admits the allegations contained in paragraph 21 of plaintiff's third amended complaint. 22. With respect to the allegations in paragraph 22 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits he contacted other attorneys in Wyoming to represent Brian Laundrie prior to the Fleener Peterson LLC was retained. So far he's agreeing with majority of what was put out in the previous filing by Petito Schmidt's, their side of things. 23. This defendant is either without knowledge and is able to admit or deny knowledge as to the allegations contained in paragraph 23 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, as to do so would violate the attorney-client privilege between the defendant and by Brian Laundrie, which Brian Laundrie has not waived, and therefore this defendant denies the same. Again, I think that those are weak. That's a weak denial. Because I would love for an attorney or someone to tell me if I'm correct on that. I mean, if your client, your former client is deceased, does your client, your attorney-client privilege kind of just go down the toilet? Or does it still stand? Because I think it's kind of worthless at this point. But again, please correct me if I'm wrong. 24, looks like he's again claiming no knowledge, but he's stating with respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 24 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits Brian Laundrie returned to the home of the parents on or about September 1st, 2021. This defendant is without knowledge and is unable to admit or deny knowledge as to the remainder of the allegations contained in paragraph 24. So he's saying he does admit that he was there, but that's all he's going to say because he's defending his now dead client, Brian Laundrie. 25. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 24, defendant admits that upon information and belief there was no contact between plaintiffs on the one hand and the defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie on the other at any point in time other than a singular meeting in Nicole Schmidt's driveway which occurred before July 2021. Okay, well that's new information. 26. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 26 of the plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits he became aware plaintiffs were searching for Gabrielle Petito on or about September 11th, 2021. 27. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 27 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, upon information and belief, this defendant admits defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie went to Fort DeSoto Park with Brian Laundrie from September 6th, 2021 to September 7th, 2021. Yeah, that particular outing is disgusting to me still to this day. It's disgusting. 28. This defendant is without knowledge as to the allegations contained in paragraph 28 of the plaintiff's third amended complaint and therefore denies same. 29. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 29 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits he described Brian Laundrie as, quote, grieving, unquote, during a televised interview that occurred in October 2021. 30. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 30 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits he released a statement on behalf of his clients, defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, on September 14th, 2021, which is cited in paragraph 30 of plaintiff's third amended complaint. The statement was made following urging and demands, some life-threatening, for information and comment from plaintiffs, law enforcement, the press, and the public. This defendant denies that defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie had, quote, full knowledge, unquote, that Gabrielle Petito had been murdered by Brian Laundrie at that time, and further denies that defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie knew the whereabouts of her body. Well, maybe, Stephen, you didn't know about it, but maybe Christopher and Roberta did. In that case, I'm not saying that it doesn't make Stephen Bertolino kind of still slimy, in my opinion, but it kind of gives him some wiggle room, in my opinion, if he was not told. 31. This defendant denies the allegations set forth in paragraph 31 of plaintiff's third amended complaint as phrased. 32. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 32 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, upon information and belief, this defendant admits that as of September 14, 2021, plaintiff Joseph Petito resided in Florida. The September 14, 2021 statement was not, quote, intended to reach Joseph Petito, unquote. Rather, the purpose of this statement was to provide a public response to escalating pressure from plaintiffs, law enforcement, the press, and the public, who were all demanding that defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie provide information, comment, or other type of response to the events being reported worldwide and incessantly throughout each day during that time. As such, this defendant denies the remainder of the allegations contained in paragraph 32 of the plaintiff's third amended complaint. Well, Mr. Bertolino, the public wanted to know, absolutely. But the families, both sides of Gabby's family, in my opinion, and this is also the opinion of many, many others throughout the country and later the world, we all thought that the family had a right to know if Christopher and Roberta had any knowledge of what was going on, because their son was with her and suddenly returned home in her van. So yeah, that's true. It was demanded. And also, everybody wanted to know what they had to say. And granted, they did have a right to remain silent and not say a damn word. But that doesn't make it any better. I think that made it much, much worse. And I think it made him appear heartless. Again, that's my opinion. And I've thought that way from the beginning. And the more and more that's come out during the civil side of things, it just made me believe completely that the Laundrie family, at least Christopher, Roberta, and Brian, are heartless human beings. Yeah. 34. To the best of this defendant's recollection, the October 23rd, 2021 interview was not conducted by a reporter with WABC Channel 7 in Sarasota, and as such, paragraph 34 is denied. I'm not remembering what exactly that said. I'll have to reference back to that one. So I guess he's denying what that actually stated. I would assume that they've done research on that, but again, I don't have it in front of me. 35. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 35 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant does not contest personal jurisdiction. Mr. Bertolino admits that he was acting as an attorney and therefore as an agent for defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, who were residents of the state of Florida, when the statements described in the third amended complaint were issued on their behalf. Mr. Bertolino also admits he made statements on the behalf of defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie following urging and demands, some life-threatening, from plaintiffs, law enforcement, the press, and the public. Mr. Bertolino denies the remainder of paragraph 35. Again, sir, Mr. Bertolino, people want to know what happened to Gabby. And if Christopher and Roberta knew something, the public maybe didn't have necessarily a right off the bat a right to know. Although people were helping to look for a missing young woman. But at the very least, law enforcement and the family, they had every single right to know. See, 36, with respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 36, let's see, 37, with respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 37. In the plaintiff's third amended complaint, the defendant admits plaintiffs issued a statement through their attorney, Richard Stafford, on September 16, 2021, and that the statement, as set forth in the third amended complaint, appears to be the statement issued by Richard Stafford. This defendant denies that Mr. Stafford delivered the statement to the Laundrie family either directly or through Mr. Bertolino. Well, does that really matter? Do you think that they didn't hear about it on the news? I find it hard to believe that Christopher and Roberta weren't watching the news. Don't you guys? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But my personal opinion is they were watching the news regularly. Regularly. And I think that, well, they didn't have much else they could do, right? Because they didn't go out without being bombarded. So do I think that they were in the house with that TV on? Yeah, I do. But again, that's my personal opinion on it. 38, this defendant denies the allegations set forth in paragraph 38. And then he goes on to 39. He denies that one as well. 40, with respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 40 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, this defendant admits that Gabrielle Petito's remains were discovered on September 19, 2021 in Bridgerton Teton National Forest in Wyoming. This defendant also admits that on the same day he issued a statement on behalf of his clients, defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie, and that in that statement, as set forth in the third amended complaint, is the statement so issued by Bertolino. The statement was made following urging and demand, some light threatening from plaintiffs, press, and the public. He's making it out to be so damn dramatic. I mean, come on, Bertolino. You were going to have to make statements, because if you kept your mouth shut as much as Kristen and Roberta did, yeah. It looks like 41, 42, and 43. He denies all of those allegations. Now we jump to count 1. Joseph Petito versus Christopher Laundrie. 44, count 1, paragraphs 44 through 45 of plaintiff's third amended complaint does not pertain directly to this defendant, and therefore he is without knowledge as to the allegations contained therein. To the extent the allegations contained therein may apply to this defendant in any respect, the allegations in paragraph 44 through 45 are specifically denied in their entirety. 45, count 1, paragraphs 44 through 45 of plaintiff's third amended complaint does not pertain directly to this defendant, and therefore he is without knowledge as to the allegations contained therein. To the extent the allegations contained therein may apply to this defendant in any respect, the allegations in paragraph 44 through 45 are specifically denied in their entirety. So he's denying all those. Count 2, Joseph Petito versus Roberta Laundrie. I'm just going to assume that he's denying these as well. 46, count 2, paragraphs 46 through 47 of plaintiff's third amended complaint does not pertain directly to this defendant, and therefore he's without knowledge as to the allegations contained therein. To the extent that the allegations contained therein may apply to this defendant in any respect, the allegations in paragraph 46 through 47 are specifically denied in their entirety. And of course, that is repeated again through 47. So he's denying counts 1 and 2. Count 3, Joseph Petito versus Stephen Bertolino. 48, with respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 48 of plaintiff's third amended complaint, the defendant hereby restates and re-alleges his response to paragraphs 1 through 40 above as though fully set forth herein. 49. This defendant denies the allegations set forth in paragraph 49 of plaintiff's third amended complaint. Count 4. Nicole Schmidt versus Christopher Laundrie. 50. Count 4. Paragraphs 50 through 51 of plaintiff's third amended complaint does not pertain directly to this defendant, and therefore he's without knowledge as to the allegations contained therein. To the extent the allegations contained therein may apply to this defendant in any respect, the allegations in paragraph 50 through 51 are specifically denied in their entirety. and he repeats that for 51. In count 5, Nicole Schmidt versus Roberta Laundrie. 52, count 5, paragraphs 52 through 53. A plaintiff's third amended complaint does not pertain directly to this defendant, and therefore he is without knowledge as to the allegations contained therein. To the extent the allegations contained therein may apply to this defendant in any respect, the allegations in paragraph 52 through 53 are specifically denied in their entirety. And he repeats that for 53. Count 6, Nicole Schmidt versus Stephen Bertolino. 54. With respect to the allegations contained in paragraph 54, a plaintiff's third amended complaint, that this defendant hereby restates and realleges his responses to paragraph 1 through 40 above as though fully set forth herein. 55. This defendant denies allegations set forth in paragraph 55 of plaintiff's third amended complaint. 56. This defendant denies each and every other allegation of plaintiff's third amended complaint, not specifically admitted herein, and demands strict proof thereof. And I could see him saying that, actually, his voice. Can't you guys? Remember seeing him on TV? Ooh. Anyway. Demand for jury trial. 57. This defendant demands a trial by jury on all issues so triable as right by jury. Affirmative defenses. Number 1, the damages set forth in plaintiff's third amended complaint were caused by or contributed by individuals or entities over whom this defendant has no control. As such, this defendant is not liable, or alternatively, only liable for pro rata share of damages. 2, plaintiffs have failed to set forth a cause of action recognizable under Florida law. The deficiencies of plaintiff's cause of action include but are not limited to: A, plaintiff's severe emotional distress was pre-existing prior to the alleged conduct of this defendant and as such not actionable. B, plaintiff's claims that this defendant failed to lessen or reduce their pre-existing emotional distress are not actionable. C, plaintiffs have failed to allege demonstrating intentional or reckless conduct by this defendant. D, plaintiffs have failed to identify how the alleged outrageous conduct by this defendant is a legal cause of their damages. E, this defendant did not make the alleged outrageous statements directly to plaintiffs, and plaintiffs were not the targeted recipients of the statements. 3, plaintiffs' claims are barred because they are based upon statements that are protected by the litigation immunity privilege. C11, Middlebrooks, Mabick, Thomas, Mays, and Mitchell, PA versus U.S. Fire Insurance Company, 639. Looks like that he's citing obviously a case there from Florida, 1994. See also Echeverria, McCalla, Raymer, Barrett, and Frapper versus Cole from Florida, 2007. Friedach versus Friedach from Florida, 1992. Delmonico versus Traynor, Florida, 2013. 4, plaintiff's claims against this defendant are barred based upon plaintiff's failure and inability to establish conduct on the part of this defendant that is outrageous enough as in a matter of law to support such a claim. See Gandy versus Transworld Computer Tech Group, Florida, 2021, citation omitted. Whether alleged conduct is outrageous enough to support a claim of intentional infliction of emotional distress is a matter of law, not a question of fact. See also Clemente versus Horn. Looks like Florida, 1998 case. Number 5, plaintiffs' claims are barred because they are based upon the defendant's assertion of their legal rights in a legally permissible way. See Canto versus J.B. Ivy and Company, Florida, 1992. Metropolitan Life Insurance Company versus McCarson, Florida, 1985. 6, plaintiff's claims against this defendant fail on the basis that this defendant was acting within the course and scope of his agency relationship with his clients, and the alleged wrongful statements were issued on behalf of this defendant's clients. 7, plaintiffs have not identified a sufficient statutory or contractual basis for recovery of attorney's fees claimed in plaintiff's third amended complaint, and therefore all such requests must be denied. See State Farm Fire and Case Company versus Palma, Florida 1993. Florida courts follow the American rule that attorney's fees may be awarded by a court only when authorized by statute or by agreement of the parties. 8. This defendant adopts any and all affirmative defenses raised by any co-defendant in this matter, whether expressly mentioned herein or not, to the extent that they are applicable and consistent with Mr. Bertolino's interest. 9. This defendant reserves the right to amend his affirmative defenses and allege additional affirmative defenses. Certificate of service. I hereby certify that on December 8th, 2023, the foregoing was electronically filed within the court, which will give all electronic notice to Patrick J. Riley, Esquire, and there's his emails, as well as Ryan L. Gilbert, Esquire. And, of course, that is the end of the document. Well, I have a very mixed feelings, but I tend to mostly agree with how Gabby's family has handled this. I personally completely understand what they're going for, and like I've said before, I don't think it's about money. I think it's about the truth. And sadly, since they didn't get a criminal trial and there's a lot of unanswered questions, they want it to come out, through the civil trial, and I totally get that, and I don't see the problem with it. I think that Stephen Bertolino basically acted like a defense attorney. And that means he did whatever he could to take care of his clients. And sometimes defense attorneys are allegedly kind of slimy, deceptive, allegedly. To be careful, because I don't want to insult them, but we know what I'm saying. They do whatever they can within the law, what allows them to do to defend their clients. That's their job. So if Mr. Bertolino didn't really know that Christopher and Roberta knew what they stated that they knew in the deposition, then that kind of takes him off the hook in a lot of ways. As far as that statement to the families and to law enforcement, the press, public, what have you, I think it's in horribly bad taste. It was horrible. But again, if he had no idea that Brian's call to his parents told him anything, that she was gone, if he legitimately did not know this information, and he's going by what the Laundries told him, which was everything but that, I don't really know how liable he is. Again, I know I keep saying it, but I'm not a lawyer. But that's kind of what I get out of it, that if he legitimately didn't know and he was just acting as their lawyer and doing the things that lawyers do, defense attorneys do, and he didn't know that Brian said, "Hey, Gabby's gone." Whether he actually stated, "I killed her," or whatever, if he didn't know any of that, that sort of takes him off of a lot, in my opinion. But let me know what you think. What do you think of this response by Bertolino's camp? Because again, he's the third defendant in this case. I see where the Petito and Schmidt families are coming from, but I'm not sure they're going to get much traction as far as his side of things, because again, he's the defense attorney. That's kind of the crap they do. But yeah, let me know what you think. With that said, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.